I'm getting naked.
What?
What?
Hi. Alex is getting
Hi.
naked. Oh, hi. There he is. All right.
All
We're
right.
this is an episode of the show that we do that's called This is the Future.
Unfortunately.
It
We
is.
didn't let's just say this is round 2 of our recording sesh this week, or in the last 5 minutes. So
I'm not gonna lie, I'll admit what I did. I divulged where I work, and you fuckers don't get to know that part. So
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, and good thing we are only like 4 minutes into recording it, because I would have edited it, but I'm really fucking stupid and I barely know how to edit. Because a couple episodes ago, I said something about my work, so we had to edit it out. And then now Tony did the same thing about his work. Luckily, we were 4 minutes in, so I didn't have to edit it.
What's funny is as soon as I said that, I just stopped. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't
you
say another word until you looked at me like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you're fucked."
you, you stopped like someone shoved a finger up your butt. You're like, oh no. You're like, oh god.
Using the whole fist there, Doc. Oh.
um,
Well,
well,
anyway, how you
yeah,
been, man?
we're good. We're both drinking. I
Yeah, we
mean,
already started. Yeah,
yeah.
fuck it.
I have a beer bottle to match my shirt, because I'm,
Oh,
that's how
liquor.
I roll. And oh, I got we were drinking last night, me and the housemates and the housemate's mother and the other housemate's boyfriend.
Can you use an English accent? Because everything you're saying fits.
Yeah, I don't know how. Every time I try to do an accent, it just turns out to be a really like offensive Mexican accent.
Oh
It doesn't
man.
matter. It could be an Irish accent. I'm like, hey, so.
My flatmates came over to get a bit fucked up, you know what I mean? And the mum come about and then she gets tossed too as a fucking tosser. Like something like that.
Yeah, that sounds.
It doesn't make any sense because you don't speak English. English,
Yeah.
English.
Um.
Anyway, what
Yeah.
was really happening before I cut you off?
We just all decided to drink. Anytime any of us in this house just decide to drink, it's never like no one goes to the store and buy, oh, we're getting beers and you got a bottle, we're getting wasted. It's more like all of a sudden we're all drunk and yelling. It's like not planned. It's just like we're taking shots. There's random beers rolling around. Hopefully we have enough. Someone's making dinner and we're just like, in the kitchen yelling and stuff. It's a good time. It's a real good time.
So
And
what time should I come by? I'm in.
anytime, Tony. Yeah, you gotta bring that Philly COVID over here, and we'll give you some Portland COVID, and we'll see what
Ooh,
happens.
shit. Yeah, that sounds fun. It's some
Yeah.
brain damage.
But anyway, my girlfriend's mom. She ended up. She's tiny. She's like 4'10", 4'9". Probably weighs like 100 pounds. Like 105 pounds. Like really tiny person. Like I'm like 2.5 of her. Like I am so much of a bigger person than she is. It's insane. And um so she probably had like a couple of glasses of wine, and like we were drinking tequila, and she had 2 shots and was more hungover than I've seen anyone else in their whole life today. It was adorable.
That's a
you see
bummer.
you see someone that tiny hungover, you're like, oh, look at that. It's the littlest hangover in the world.
When you see little people, is it like, are you like, do you get hungry? You're like, get in my belly.
Yeah, get in here. Get the fuck in here.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Yeah, man. Dunk some barbecue sauce on her head. Hey, it's good for hangovers. There you go.
It's good for hangovers. Put her on a rotisserie.
Yeah. Fucking A. But so yeah. That's what
But you
happened
weren't.
last
But
night.
you weren't hungover, you old pro.
No, I take 2 weeks off a year, and then you know, that like it's like a recharging, and it lasts the charge lasts for a year, but you
Cool,
know.
man. I mean, do you
Oh.
take 2 weeks off on purpose, or you just add up all the days you didn't drink and it equated to 2 weeks?
um, I don't know.
He doesn't have an okay.
I don't got an answer. I don't know. Well, that like a couple weeks, like a month ago, I took off like 10 days. I didn't drink for like 10 days, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's 2 business weeks. So
That's right. That's
Mm.
great.
And yeah. My girlfriend Callie, she got me a bottle of tequila, going back to work present. She's a really nice person. She's a really, really nice person. Like, when she does stuff like that, like, it makes me realize how bad of a person I am. I'm like, man, I could have like done something nice for you, all these things, all these times, and you're like, oh, you're going back to work. Here's a bottle of booze, and I'm like, man, I should be nicer.
Then you just
So
run through the house, flush the toilet, and be like, "Did it for you, sweet cheeks."
exactly, put the seat up for you.
I did the toilet paper just the way you like it.
Yeah, speaking of that, apparently I've been putting on toilet paper the wrong way for my whole life.
All right,
And
all right. Let's have the discussion. Which way is it supposed to go?
I was told that it's supposed to be going this way. Like, you pull it from this way, not from the bottom. You pull it from the top.
Yes, you were told correctly, at least as far as I know. I'm an over guy, not an under guy.
Yeah. I don't care. I just put it on there.
Right.
I just go, it's on. Like, because you get yelled at if you don't put it on. So I just fucking put it on and I don't think about it. But everyone's like, no, you got to put it on this way, because if you don't, it'll just like, unravel easier. So you got to put it on from the top, So.
Did we even have toilet paper when we lived together? I can't remember
Oh
having
no,
any.
I don't think we cleaned ourselves ever. I don't think
No,
we.
I mean we had that wet spigot called a shower. I mean we used that.
Yeah, that's about it. You're fine.
I really don't remember like how we had the toilet. I feel like I would pick up sheets off the ground and just.
I don't remember, because I don't remember that time in my life very well. I don't. I wasn't really drinking back then at all. Like, I was, but not very much. But I was smoking a lot of weed and doing a lot of other things, and so
I wasn't. That's all I did. I think.
oh, fucking liar. There's times that from time to time we did things, acid, mushrooms, stuff like that, DMT.
Oh yeah, we did. Indeed, we did. But not in that apartment. That's what I was getting at. Yeah, we did all those things, but in that apartment, we just ate pot food and smoked pot.
We did do that acid that one time when you tried to watch a movie and you flipped out, remember?
Yeah, but that was in Bend. That wasn't in the one bedroom.
Yeah, that's true.
It
You're
doesn't
right.
matter. Either way, you're right. We've done drugs in apartments that we've rented, and we put holes in them. And we let your dad, who calls you brother, come in there and patch those holes.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey, brother's friend. Hey, man.
So my whole life, my dad has called me brother. And I kind of know why. I know why, but also it always weirded me out, because I'm like, we live in a small town in Oregon called Terrebonne. Am I your son? Is there something weird that we have to talk about? Like,
Tell me the
I'm your
truth.
brother, son? How does that work? And what he means is brother in Christ. Like that's what he means. Like Jesus Christ, brother in Christ. That's what he means. Like, it's like a religious thing.
Huh.
And it's also kind of like a weird, like, have you ever heard like two old married, like a married couple, like 70, 80 years old, call each other like mom or dad, like pop or something like that, or
Yeah.
father?
Yeah.
Yeah. think it's like kind of like that. But when I was a kid, I was kind of creeped out, and also was like, "Are you Hulk Hogan?" Like,
Oh shit. I thought my dad was the warden. I don't know what was going on. Close your cell. Turn the lights out. What?
sorry, my dad was some religious hippie. Some, I mean, you've seen him, you've talked to
No,
him.
no, I
You've
get
been
it. I
in,
just never heard of a religious hippie. Like that's not.
I haven't either. I don't think it's not a thing. It's just
Spiritual,
that's
man. Spiritual. You know.
no, it's not a thing. That's just what he is. I don't know how to describe him. You describe him. That's about how he's religious. Like, you go into his pot den, there'd be pot everywhere. He's wearing a beaded hash necklace that he'd break off and put in a pipe. There's a half dead dog laying on the ground, some old dog. And there's classic rock playing on the stereo, like fucking Jimi Hendrix, just like fucking wheeling. And then at the same time, in a different stereo at the same volume, Christian talk radio's playing. It's two different stereos, and at the same volume, two different things are being played in one room. He says he's a religious hippie. I don't know how else to like describe him.
I just kind of see like Jesus on the cross, one arm out, and the other one just bam, bam,
Yeah,
bam,
exactly.
just strumming guitar.
Like he would like try to witness for like to some of my friends growing up. He'd be like, "Hey, brother's friend, you want to know about my friend Jesus?"
No, I do not.
I mean, I'm too high to be offended right now.
Dude, something I have a few things that happened, and one of them automatically. Every time I go to Cracker Barrel, I think about you because you fucking ruined it for me, and that's just how it is. So
Yeah.
Alex ruined Cracker Barrel for me because he probably told me the truth. He told me that they microwave all their fucking food, which is fine. But now when I eat it, and it is a family favorite, and it is probably the only fucking place you can find to eat around here that isn't fast food. Seriously. So you can sit down, listen to country music, and listen to old people complain all the time. It's great. But I was at a Cracker Barrel the other night, and all the food was what it is. But went to pay the woman, and they have them behind glass. And she was just, she's in her mojo, she's doing her thing, and I got a little line going behind me, and she's saying something to me, and then she goes, and you need to hit that button right there. She's like, and then I was like, look, I was talking to Jesse or whatever, and she's like, hey, she taps the glass as if the glass wasn't there, it would have been in my eyeball, her finger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the fuck? But she didn't notice that I was like looking at her, like, I was like, what did you do? And so then she turned around and I was like, hey! And she looked at me and I went, how do you like it? And the woman behind me, I mean, I just thought, I didn't know anyone was watching. She's just like, oh, no, you didn't. And I was like, yes, I did. And she's like, that shit is rude, right? I was like, fuck yeah, it's rude.
That's awesome.
Great. And the woman behind the couch, she's like, I don't get it. And she's like, you rude as hell. And he pointed it out. And I was like, yeah, I pointed it out, all right. Fucking put your finger in my face. What's wrong with you? I said, what's the matter with you? If that glass wasn't there, you'd be poking me in the eye, and I'd be suing Cracker Barrel for a bunch of free microwave meals. What the fuck? She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't get used to that glass. Like, it's going away one day. And then you're going to be poking people in the face. Weird.
That's such a Tony G thing to do. Just like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah, I can't handle it, man. I really can't handle when people get a one up on me. It's like, hang on a second, I'll be right back. I'd throw the fucking car in reverse, Yeah. Excuse me. Well, I'll follow you around. You give me the bird, I'll meet you at TCBY. Excuse me. You with the kids. Did you flip me off minivan? Yeah. All right, cool. Fuck you. Have a good day. Bye. I have to get even. It's a problem.
Yeah, you just got to get your fuck you back in, and you're good.
It really is a thing for me, Alex. It really is. I didn't have a brother or sister, so I never really lost. I didn't win anything either, but I never really lost an argument. It's me. I just argue with myself. But when I lose
Right.
to someone else, God damn it, we're at least gonna have a tie.
We're gonna at least have a tie.
That's right. How about you? Any weird shit this week?
Other than, you know, tying one on yesterday, last night. Not really. I'm trying to think. I have a feeling that a lot of weird shit happens to me every day, and it's just so weird that I can't remember it because it's just so it's weird, but it just happens so much that it's normal. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't remember it because it's just so fucking normal. um, I have been working. We are open for the last 3 days, and it's been pretty cool. How they have it set up, how the owners of my work have it set up is pretty cool. It's reservations only, and it's not like a normal bar or restaurant where you just go in and you just do whatever you want. It's you have a reservation. You walk in, you're like, I have one. I have a reservation. Blah blah blah, and then you go to your pod. We built pods. One of the owners is an old welder, like a metal fabricator, and he made like all these big frames and hung curtains. And there's probably, I think there's 8 pods, and there's only, depending on how big the pod is, the different size pods, and there's one pod that's like $20, and it's just like a two person pod, and it has a pinball machine, and it's free pinball, and all the machines are free play.
Fuck.
So one pod, let's say the biggest pod I think is $45. It's got 5 machines in it. It's free play, and you can have up to 6 people on there.
That's
And
sick.
yeah. So, and I think it's like with that $45, you get like a couple free drinks, and I think a free, there's like a free meal in there somewhere.
Right, so it's a combo pack, and you reserve it.
Yeah.
You come in, you do your thing, and then you leave.
Yeah, and you could stay for an hour.
It's not bad.
And yeah, it's not bad. And
fuck no, not if you had 6 people splitting $45, man. That's less than $10 a person. That's great.
Yeah,
everybody plays the machine, has a beer, you feel normal for an hour, and you go the fuck home.
Yeah, and see the thing, like even if you are in the pod with one that has one machine and you're just by yourself, well, that means you get a free beer, a burger, and you get to play pinball for free for $20.
Dude, honestly, I would do that right away. I don't know what they're doing here because of all the riots and shit. I don't think they're open. We have one like that, but it's not open.
Yeah. And so it's pretty safe. You got to wear your mask. Even when you're in your pod, you have to wear your mask. The only time you could take it off is when you eat and drink, and you got to put it back on to play pinball in your pod and go to the bathroom. Like when you go to the bathroom, when you walk out of your pod, you wear your mask. And when people leave, we do like go do a changeover. So we go in and clean the pod, and they bought this fucking thing that's so cool. It's a sanitizer cannon. So it looks like a fucking rocket launcher, basically. It's like this fucking big, like Tommy gun rocket launcher thing. You hold it like this, and you just fill it up with sanitizer, like with this liquid sanitizer. It's not the pump alcohol kind. It's like a liquid kind. It's a water-based sanitizer, and you fill it up, and then you just spray everything down, and it shoots out vaporized like sanitizer vape, like, and it purifies the air that you shoot it into, and the droplets that fall down also sanitize whatever it lands on. So I don't know, that's pretty safe.
That's cool, man. That's actually really fucking interesting. Huh. I wonder if anyone around here's pulled that off.
I'm sure, because there's like, there's a few indoor sporting events that have been going on through the COVID thing, like, like boxing and UFC and the NBA have been back for months.
You can go see a fucking game?
No, they're only the way they do the NBA right now. you can't go into the building, but it's on TV. They're showing it on
Right,
TV.
right. Yeah. That's an NBA. That's a fucking NBA wide thing. Because
Yeah,
I had read about but
I'm saying that.
they're having event. I mean, they're doing shit.
Yeah, they're playing, and why the reason why I said that is because they use those things. They use the fucking cannons, and
Oh,
I think that's where the owners got the idea from, is they saw the workers in the fucking gymnasium fucking spraying things with cannons, and you know,
right.
'cause- so I think I'm just saying that that's where they got the idea from. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty fucking neat.
How about that? That's cool that you guys were able. I'm really stoked you guys were able to find a way to get this shit done. Like for you to work. I mean, it ain't gonna be. Hopefully this will pay off and you guys won't have to shut down again. That would
I
be
hope not.
fucking nice. After all this work, I mean, Jesus,
I
being
know.
closed for 6 months and trying this can't be the most profitable model that's out there.
You know what? I think for them it might be because because you got to think about it this way. There's some people that come in and used to come in the wedge to only play pinball, only play pinball, and they would get like a fucking Pepsi or a cup of coffee and play pinball for 4 or 5 hours, and those people are really good at pinball, so they spend like
Hmm.
$8 on pinball,
Oh,
ten
so
dollars.
you guys don't usually charge like some arcades I've been to, some charge
Have
like you pay credits if it's a bar, but other places I've been to, you have to pay an hourly.
no, this was just like a regular bar that had pinball in it, and then like
So
you just
they
you
could
just
milk
put
it. Yeah,
quarters in. So it's like people would stay for hours and not spend any money. So I think this is like an incentive. It's better for both parties.
gotcha.
It's better for the customer because it's like you're getting some extra things out of it, and you're able to stay and play however many pinball games you want to play for free within an hour.
Yeah, it's all included.
And it's better for the business because they're making some money. So really, it's better for both parties, I think. And people like the idea have their own little pod. I think it's cool. Like you get to go in, no one gets to fucking bother you. If someone comes into your pod, we're gonna tell them to leave. So it's like I don't know. I think people like it, and I think the owners like the way it's turning out. So even if
Right.
the world does go back to normal, or something that resembles normal, I don't think Wedgehead is ever going to go back. I think it's always going to be the way it is now.
Really?
I think so. It seems like it.
I
People.
mean, at the end of the day, like you said, the numbers. I mean, if you
Well,
guys
I mean, I think, and it's the customers. The customers seem to like it. They were like, "Yeah, we get to just we're in our spot. We get to play pinball. No one comes over and
I would
tries to take
fucking
the
love
machine from us. We get to play Ninja Turtles in Jurassic Park and like fucking whatever other game, and we're happy for an hour, and then we get to go, fuck off and do whatever else with our night. So
I mean, yeah, if you guys can stay booked, relatively tight, then you're fine. And it creates that need because it's like someone calls in and they're like, "Oh, we want to do this," and they're like, "Oh man, we're fucking booked. You're gonna have to try tomorrow or try next week." And so they're happy to get a time. You know what I mean? They
yeah,
move the consumer moves their schedule around to go to your event, to go to your venue, to do your.
yeah,
So that's cool. They're like, "Oh, we took off work for this shit." They're like, "Awesome,
yeah.
$20."
I think it's just it's one of those things where I think they wish they were doing the whole time, and
Huh.
I think that they think the people that have came in the last 3 days are like, nah, this is cooler than it was before. Because I got to think about like if I'm going out and I'm going to go out to have like a burger and a beer and play pinball, that price and having my own little cubby little area, and and only having an hour and a little bit, hour and 10 minutes, like is good for me because that means I'm not going to spend a a crazy amount of money. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stay there for too long. And if I want to stay another hour, all you have to do is pay again. You know, you could pay for another hour. So
That's cool, man. That's an interesting business model. I'll be curious to see. Honestly, I'll be curious to see how that. I'll be
and,
curious to see how many businesses like that transform because of COVID for survival, and then keep some, if not all, of those ideas.
right,
I'm interested to see how many ideas hold over from this COVID shit. How many things have actually changed for the future because of this.
right, yeah,
Quite a
and
few
there's
things are changing because of
right,
cash seems to be going away. A bunch of bullshit.
right,
Not going to get into conspiracy shit, but what a fucking coincidence. In either case, it'll be interesting to see what's on the other side of this shit.
right.
I always
I
talk
know,
about that drive-in theater that I have a hard on for, and
right.
those guys. I mean, I actually watched the documentary again. It's called At the Drive-In for those who are bored on Amazon. In any case, they show, as I mentioned before, a bunch of old 35 millimeter, old horror, bunch of awesome shit. People come from all over now to see this stuff. They've been selling out. Like he said, he's like, Jesus Christ, we've been selling out. 4 years ago, we had 5 people show up. Now we're selling out, and they are,
Wow.
and they're charging $25. Man, first show I went to, there was $5. Now they're 25, and then that's people prospering through COVID. So I'm like, cool, these guys are all coming to the drive-in because there's not a lot to do, but they're creating new habits, new hobbies. Like that's on my list now. I don't give a shit if COVID's happening or not. I'm going back to the fucking drive-in.
Right.
It's shown me something different to do. And I think that's cool. I don't know if I would have gone to the drive-in as much if it wasn't for COVID.
Right. Huh. There's one nearby here in Portland and in Tigard or something like that. And I've never been. I want to go, especially since you've been talking about it a lot. But I've never been to a drive-in movie. It
Right.
sounds
And
funny.
the reason I got so excited about this one is because first I saw the documentary, and then I learned that there was a history. They never changed the building inside or out since the 40s when it opened.
Oh
Like
wow.
this one kid was diverted in traffic and saw the drive-in and was like, what the fuck is this? And called his buddy. And because of that diversion in traffic, they ended up getting into that drive-in with the guy who owned the place. And the three of them turned it into what it is. And now the one guy runs the kitchen and the other guy does all the booking. And they were all, he said, Universal and Paramount were all fucking laughing at him when he was like, hey, I want old 35 million, I want film. And they're like, no, dude, you want digital. And he's like, no, I want film. And they're laughing at him. He's like, they were laughing at me 4 years ago. He's like, now I email these fuckers, they're on it like that. And they send me whatever the hell I need. I can get any film I want. And he got into like some people hooked him up from his personal archives, like not Rob Zombie, but as an example, hit up someone like Rob Zombie and got their personal collection of 35 millimeter horror films and did a weekend. And
Wow.
everybody fucking came. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just a drive-in. Like, Walmart's throwing up inflatable screens, letting you fucking kill each other in their parking lot and calling it an experience. That's not what I'm getting at. And I'm not saying that the drive-in near you isn't that. But if you looked at these guys' lineup, you see how they curate shit. They're
Hmm.
like, they try to have like a certain actor weekend, and they'll have
Oh yeah.
6 fucking movies in 2 nights about that actor. I love that shit. Like, that's awesome. You just show up in your car and you fucking, it's just so easy. It's chill.
Yeah.
No one's fucking with you. You know? I don't know. I love that. Like, it's my car, your movie, and my drugs. This is great. What the fuck? I mean, there's so much pot that floats through there. It's just fantastic. You know, these kids are running around and then they slow down as the night goes on. You know, like, I smell funny. Wait, what? So anyway, I'm stoked that things aren't just crashing into the ground. Corporations are definitely cutting a lot of fat. That's what's scary for a lot of people with jobs.
Hmm.
So try to behave
Well,
yourself out there, kids. But it's good to
I
see independent business owners find a fucking way.
see that's the thing is like when you're an independent like that, you don't have to jump through hoops or climb up ladders. You just have to go, I got to make a decision, sink or swim, and then you just make a decision. You just
Yes.
do it. Corporations have to like go, can we do this? What we should do this? What should we do that? Should like they have to like go through so many people, and then by the time you get an answer, you're fucking you're dead.
Yeah. They
you
bust
know.
out the decision tree. Like,
Yeah.
we've had meetings and whatever. Yeah, I get that. You want another fun tale? Let's see what I
Yeah.
got. I got a few.
What do you got?
This one's quick. I went to a hippie store with Jesse, and I went to the hippie store.
Hippie store meaning
Oh,
like
um, well, it would be a record store if they sold music. So they have everything else. They have bunch of like a true hippie store, kind of like Cosmic Depot, but they don't sell.
yeah.
All they sell are T-shirts, candles, movie
Mhm.
posters, hemp, like everything that isn't music and isn't. They don't sell pipes.
Man, sub vibes. Huh.
No, I know, right? Fucking mind-boggling. A hippie store that doesn't sell drug paraphernalia, but they
Right.
don't. And the woman they're super duper old hippies, and they look just like the store. It's all rusty and beaten up, but whatever. And
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, it's one of those places where you go into the store and you're just like, holy shit, this is everything from 30 fucking years ago. All the posters they have all filed up against the walls, like I'm talking, the big movie posters, but all the cool shit, all the blacklight posters, they have like Bonnie and Clyde posters, like just cool shit that people had on their walls in the 80s and 90s when they're doing coke in their parents' bedroom, shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's just everywhere, and they're groovy fucking T-shirts. Anyway, this woman's talking, and like we walk in and no one's in there, and you can't really see over your head because they have shit everywhere. And she was just, and all of a sudden you hear, hello, and I'm all like, I just feel like I'm talking to the store. I'm like,
Yeah.
hello, and then it answers back. I'm like, oh, this is fucking heavy. And then eventually I see this woman, and this cat comes running around, and she's like, oh, that's Rufio. And I'm like, hey, what's up, Rufio? How you
Oh,
doing, man? Like, have the cat give me some skin, I'm like, come on, baby, give me a slide. And Jess
like
all about the cat, and she's like,
a real
oh,
cat. A real
yeah,
cat.
yeah, real cat, wasn't stuffed. And he says, I feel like someone's smoking out my fucking window. Whatever. I live in front of a bus stop, I guess. You know what? That's bothering me. I'll be right back.
Mm. Oh, that's funny, Tony. Stop it, you.
Cut the damn
Yeah?
oh.
No way.
Huh?
Okay. You're back. Okay. I was just having a conversation with you.
No, man, that sucks. No, there's a
Like,
fucking fire hydrant out there, and everyone thinks because they cut it out of the street, like they cut a little indentation so the fire truck can hook up the hose.
Mhm.
Everyone thinks a fucking smoke pit. It's like, it's cool, I get it. Yeah, smoke where you can put out a fire. That makes sense, but not next to my fucking window. Anywho, the cat comes out. The woman's talking. She's like, "Oh, you met Rufio," and so we're having, and she's like, "He's accepted you into his circle." I'm like,
Wow.
I was like, "Well, that was fucking fast. Rufio's a little whore, isn't he?" And she's like, "Huh?" I was like, "Nothing. Don't worry about it." Of course, Jesse's over there like,
Just like, God damn it.
oh shit. But she was talking about, she's like, well, there's different ways to let you into their circle. And I'm like, fuck me, man. I'm like, this wasn't on the list today. This is gonna take a while. And she's just telling us all this weird shit. I don't really have anything else funny to say about it. All I can tell you is the store was cool. And apparently cats have a circle and they either let you into it or they don't. And she was
Right.
like, well, maybe you have other cats on you. I'm like, well, hell yeah, I have other cats. I mean, we have a cat. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe that's what it is. And I was like, well, maybe it's just confidence. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, when I met your young Rufio, I gave him some paw. I wasn't scared of him, just like a dog. And he automatically respected me for it. She's
Yeah.
like, huh. And I was like, no, you never thought of that? She's like, no. And I could tell it kind of blew her mind. And I'm like, how the fuck did you get here this far? Not understand. I was like, so you're not a dog lover, huh? She's like, no. I was like, all right, well, whatever. I was like, I'm pretty sure if you just, if you're cool with the cat, they'll be cool with you. It's not about a circle. It's like, if this fucker's gonna pet me, I'm gonna let him pet me. Cats are furry little whores. They don't give a shit who you are. They're fucking blind. They're like,
yeah.
Meow. And you're like, meow, meow. They don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, they just want to get in your lap and need you, like, though, put their butthole in your face, like they just want to. You're like, hey, pretty kitty, and you're like, what the fuck is that? No, get that thing away from me. No.
That's fucking nasty. Cats don't face you. They always turn around.
I know, they're just like, look at my
Like
asshole.
backing
Look
up.
at it.
Beep, beep, beep. Like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
The fuck? This isn't even my cat. The fuck?
Speaking of pets, my dog has a little health problem. She's got bladder stones. Took her to the vet. They did an ultrasound, and it's like I'm
Like golf?
I've only, like she's had this problem once before, like a year and a half ago. That's the first time I heard about bladder stones. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was just kidney stones. So they're a lot like kidney stones, except they're in your bladder, not in her kidneys or over there, or whatever. So, yeah, she's got fucking a bunch of rocks in her pussy. So,
Oh man.
I want to let you know something. I brought that up just so I could say that.
All right,
That's
that's fine because I mean I felt bad, and then you're like, "You just rocks in her pussy." Like, oh, man, I can't be sad when you say those things. Here I am trying to offer condolences for your dog, and I actually got rocks in her pussy. I'm like,
She
whoa.
got rocks in her pussy. No, she's not in any pain, or that we could tell. She doesn't like make any noises when she pees or anything. Her stomach doesn't hurt. She's not like yelping or anything. She's normal. The only reason why I noticed is because she's had this problem before, and B, there was a little bit of blood in her urine. So I was like, well, that's not normal. So took her to the vet. Yeah, she's got a bunch of rocks in her pussy. Yeah.
I can't get that out of my fucking head.
She can't get that out of her pussy, so
After my 4 hours of sleep tonight, that's what I'm going to be thinking about the rest of the morning.
Yeah. But poor girl, she can't. You got to switch her food up. She's got to have like this dietary food for the rest of her life. This like it's called like urinary diet food or whatever, and it's just like low calorie, like she's not like a fat dog or anything. She's not overweight. She weighs about as much as she should, and so it's just like it's for her rocky pussy, and it's but it's just like low calorie food, and she has to be on it for the rest of her life. So I had to get rid of her food, has to get rid of all of her treats, and because she has a bunch of treats, like Callie just goes like anytime she goes to the store, she buys a fucking treat for the dog. So dog has a bunch of treats, had to throw them, like get rid of them, like give them to other people who have dogs, and then we had to buy these other fucking dietary treats that look like cardboard. And so I just feel bad for the dog, like
That sucks, man. It's like when it's like being like my uncle like found out he was having issues, and they told him he had to drink Michelob Ultra the rest of his life. It's a lot like that.
It's a lot like he had rocks in his pussy too.
Yeah, I don't know where his rocks are, but he's still drinking Michelob Ultra. I mean, he just drank 3 times as many. It didn't make any fucking sense.
I like that. Don't quit drinking. Just drink a different beer.
Drink more of a less beer. What?
Yeah, that's fucking.
Piss 3 times as much. That'll help. All right, I got one more thing that I never really laugh at. That's not true. I laugh at work sometimes, but it used to be when I worked with people in person, and it usually was after the customer had left. So today I was on the fucking phone with a customer, and he made me fucking laugh. And we were talking, and he had a good sense of humor. He was cussing up a storm, which I just love. As long as you're not cussing at me, boy, let it fucking rip, because it ain't allowed. Do it. So this guy's fuck this, fuck for it. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I get it. I'm like, fuck all those companies. They all suck. He's going back and forth. And then he's like, I'm like, well, listen, with us, you'll get 5G. And he's like, does that come with cancer? And I was like, yeah, maybe, but this is a recorded call, so absolutely not. Oh man. So then we're going through it, and I always made this joke with customers. I'm like, listen, you got to sign with your finger, just, I said, I don't care what you do. One guy drew a house one time. I don't care what you draw in your little signature square.
Right.
This guy, he's like, oh, hang on a second. He's signing it, and I'm waiting for it to come through. It's two boobies with nipples. I was like, get the fuck out of here. He's got like 4 kids. He ordered 4 phones. He just hates life. He's like, I fucking hate my life. I'm like, I hate your life too. This is great. And he's just like, he's from Chicago, and he's sending me. I was like, this is awesome. He's like, oh, it's cold up here. And I was like, whose are they? Yours? And he's like, ours are too small to be mine. I sure hope someone was listening to that. I gotta stop working for Sprint.
Yeah.
Oh, shit on a dick. Yeah, man.
So, it's about that time to talk about music, huh? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Let's do. Actually, yes. You can bring it up, but I have. Yeah. I listened to it, and then I watched.
Yeah, we were reviewing the album Epicloud by Devin Townsend, and we also are reviewing a live video that he recorded playing the song Kingdom from that album Epicloud, and it is a live recording on EMG TV. I don't know where really about that station or really what it is, but yeah. And it was like a one-man kind of show, right? It kind of had that feel, right, Tony? Where it was just him, the music, and he was playing guitar and singing, and he did his own loops live, and he had things pre-recorded. So let's start off with the album, and then we'll hit the video. What do you think of the album?
Honestly, it reminded, like you said, progressive rock.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't know yet. I've listened to it a few times. I still don't know. Here's the thing. I like it, but he sings way too fucking good. Like it's not a slam at all. It's just like I can hear every fucking word he's saying. It sounds amazing. This is not music. This is something else. This is too good. I don't know how to feel about it. It's not. I don't know. I like it, but then I'm honestly, half of me is like, did this motherfucker bait me with Christian rock? Like, and not in a mean way. I just mean like it's really clear, and he's really singing, like like singing, and I'm like, the fuck is that? I mean, it baffles me. It's good music, but I mean, it's like some of the words were just strong. It was just like, live, love, and I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, this is, I don't know. It honestly reminded me of Tool. Like I saw the prog rock in it. I don't know. I don't know. Like I feel like a mix of. I feel like Tool meets Christian rock. That's just how I'm sorry, man. I don't know. It's just how I felt about it. He sings too fucking good for me. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. I'm like, I don't hear any addiction in there. I don't hear 100 years of smoking fucking Camel cigarettes. Like, this guy's just too fucking good. Like, what's going on here? Well, it's beautiful. It's beautiful shit. I mean, and the guy really can sing. It's just like, what the fuck is this?
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about him. Well, he started off, like the most notable thing he did, or really early in his career, is he was on a couple albums and toured with Steve Vai. He sang with Steve Vai. Then he was in a band that's still a band called the Wild Hearts, and they're a British band, I think, and they're like a rock punk band. And then he was in his own band that he started with a bunch of other guys called Strapping Young Lad, and Strapping Young Lad is like a straight up brutal metal band, like fucking crazy. Like they're part of the like genre of metal called extreme metal, and that's kind of the genre they kind of one of the bands that they kind of helped coin that term. And and then he started doing his own stuff. Devin Townsend, and then Devin Townsend Project, and the Devin Townsend Band, and then he's just back to Devin Townsend. And so a little bit about him personally. You said you said it reminded you of Christian rock, and I knew you were going to say that because people do say that about him. Because he does hire a lot of like church choirs to sing with
Yeah.
him, and he's an atheist, and
Awesome.
he always, I've heard him like talk about this, you know, and there's articles like where he hires these like singers that sing in churches, like gospel like choirs, and they're always, he's always like, I have to let you know up front, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, I'm here, I'm hiring your talent. You know, he's like, I'm a spiritual person, you know, like, but I don't believe in God or religion. So he's like, we could connect in spirit and spirituality, like being spiritual, and I hired you because you're talented. That's why.
Right.
So, and he's bipolar. He got diagnosed with bipolar, and he's a former alcoholic and drug addict. And his whole message, especially with the Devin Townsend Project, is about love and bringing people together. That's his whole his whole thing is like, there's a lot of bullshit in the world, and I've heard him talk about, he just tries to be a light and tries to like bring people together with his music, and that's why it's so positive. That's why it's like love, life, and there's that song Grace, you know, like, because it's all about, you know, has nothing to do with God or religion, but it does have to do with being like a spiritual, being connected with yourself and and the people that are around you that you love. So I respect him for that. You know, he's like, I think he's 48 or 50. He's in his late 40s, something like that. And he's a weird looking guy, isn't he? He's a fucking strange looking dude.
Yeah.
But I just have a lot of respect for him, and I think he's super talented. But I can understand where you're kind of iffy about it, because it's crystal clear singing, and there's metal elements, there's prog elements, there's opera and classical like singing elements. There's a lot of different. He puts a lot together.
Yeah.
So the reason why I wanted for us to review it and show it to you, because it was kind of like a challenge. I wanted to throw it at you and see what you thought, like whether you liked it or not. And, you know, it's the same to me either way. So, but yeah, I love him, and I love when I first got into him, I knew about Strapping Young Lad, his metal band. I love that, still do. And yeah, but I haven't seen that video from EMG TV. I haven't Kingdom. I watched that like first time like 2 weeks ago. I have to be honest with you, it made me cry. Like I was weeping because it made me emotional, because I'm a performer, you're a performer. Like I was so impressed. I think it was a perfect performance. He had everything. He walked out there confident. He was funny. He was like, if you watch it, like he was mocking the people watching it. Like he kind of mocking you. He's making fun of himself. He has all the confidence. He's just, I thought it was like a perfect, flawless fucking performance. So that's what I think of the video. What'd you think of the video?
So it definitely caught me off guard. And when someone does loops, does that mean that he created all that music and then just looped it? Like all the drum beats and all that?
Yeah. That's all his, like, it's the same song that's recorded on the album. And
right,
like,
but I mean, did he do all the work?
He has a band, but he does the band that plays the songs, but he writes all the music himself.
Okay,
And
got you. So I mean, that blew my mind when I realized it was just up him up there with his guitar, and then he was playing over everything else. But then when he I like the part, you don't see this every day. Actually, you really don't see this very much at all. How he kind of like talked during his, like, where he's like, here comes the good part, you know, here comes the, or you're like, it just kind of was like, I like this confidence a lot. I was like, all right, okay, like that kind of sold me on it. It was just like,
Right.
and then when he hit the guitar, when he was, I was like, is he really fucking playing right now? Because it doesn't, it's effortless up there, man. I mean, this is really fucking good. It's just
Right.
confusing, like to have that heavy of metal and then him like, oh, just like, what the fuck is
Right.
going on? These two things don't really, they do go together, obviously, but it's not something that you see all the time. So
Hmm.
you're just like, and he's singing with positivity. That
Hmm.
really, when I saw that, I was like, boy, there really isn't a lot of positive shit out there that I can understand when I hear it. Like you can hear what he's saying, and it's just like it was really good. Him playing live, I just, as you said, the confidence really got me. It's like this guy's like just like fuck it, like
Hmm.
it's another day at work, but I know what I'm doing, and it was just that really got me. The confidence jumped out at me. He had presence like no other for being up there by himself with no audience and just a fucking camera crew staring at him. That's quite a
Right.
bit to pull out of your pocket and just be like, oh, this is just me. Fuck it. I mean, it
Right.
didn't seem to phase him at all. And obviously, that's from years and years of doing his shit. But
Oh yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
fucking, honestly, I'm being honest. Do I love it? No. Will I find myself listening to it again? Yeah, I will. I'm going to dig into it again for sure. I'm glad you introduced me to it because honestly, I didn't really think anything like that existed. And that's
Right.
what's neat. You're like, oh shit, this is out there. Like, this isn't bad. And it's not like, hey, if it isn't for me, I would definitely, I'm like thinking to myself, who would I recommend this to? Because this is good. It might just not be where I'm at right now, but other people should know about this. That's how I felt. I was like, other people should definitely know about this shit because it might be for them. You know,
Right.
I
Yeah.
appreciate the playing personally. I appreciate the way he sings, but it's too fucking pretty for me. So I'm just
Hmm.
like, all right, you're too fucking good. Stop. But on the guitar and everything, I didn't know anything about him. So if I had known that, if I had listened to Strapping Young Lad and all this other shit first, I would probably have a different way of looking at this.
Hmm.
But I don't. I've never heard, or anything of him. So really, it was just like I'll never forget this guy just
Right.
by watching the video and listening to the album. I won't
Yeah.
I won't forget his name. That's saying a lot to me about a musician.
Sure.
Really. I don't know how many more times I'll listen to it. I don't know if one day there's a song that's gonna, maybe I find a song that grabs me. Sometimes it only takes one song that pulls you in. Or maybe 5 years from now, something happens and I find myself, you never know how it's gonna come in, but I'm like, I know I'm not done with this shit yet. I just don't see myself diving into it right now.
Sure. I hear you.
But I mean, I
Um.
can't say that I don't like it. I'm just like, no, that's really fucking interesting, and I'm gonna give that attention. But like, I was listening to it, and then I was like, fuck, I want to listen to Tool. Like, I wanted some f bombs. That's what I want. I want some cussing. You know me. I'm like, I'm happy, but I hate the world. So it's like I need a mix of both. And he's just like, oh, I'm
Right.
really positive, and I'm really good at what I do, and there's a smile on my face, and it's like, does that work? I don't know. Is that okay? Yeah, it works. Just
Well,
wasn't
see,
ready for it.
there's just like it's a lot to unpack, and I think it's how am I going to say this? It's easy for someone to be thrown off by one part of it and not be able to dig into it. Because that song that he did the video, Kingdom, that song is all about fucking up in a relationship. He's using, he's saying Lord as the royal, like he's putting that person that he was in a relationship with on a pedestal. He's basically calling them Lord.
Now, where did you
Right?
get that? You dove in and found out,
You don't,
or
yeah, you can dive in and you can really like see that because he's saying, Lord, Lord, come play with me. Oh baby, oh baby. So he's obviously talking about a romantic relationship. And he's talking about how, and in it he said, in the song he talks about how he messed up and he got off track. He's like, I missed the whole point.
yeah,
He says that in the song, I missed the whole point. And he's like putting that person, I'm assuming he's talking about his wife, up on a pedestal. He's calling them or her Lord, I think. So, and that's what he's doing, is he's in that song, he's like saying, you're great, you're a Lord, and I'm a piece of shit, and I messed up. That's what he's saying in the song. So and I said before, he's bipolar. He's an ex-alcoholic and drug user. Just because he's so positive doesn't mean there ain't some shit in there. like he's like definitely there are some shit in there for sure, but I think his message is like most rock and roll and stuff and good perform like rock like music and comedy comes from like pain and suffering. But what about the people that are just like, hey, let's just be happy, huh? What about because like he's kind of like people that do that are kind of like they're healers, they're band-aids. They're like being like, what about okay, you could roll and be, you know, fucked up and be in pain all the time. But what about the other side? You want to be happy, right? There's got to be light at the end of the tunnel, right? So
Yeah,
I
it's
think
just
to
really
me,
weird to see people marketing happiness.
yeah, yeah,
That's I guess that's why it's so weird because you're like, wow, this guy's really fucking heavy, but he's smiling and he's happy. Like the fuck is that?
yeah,
You know, I mean, it sounds stupid. I mean, even the lead singer of Slayer is probably fucking happy. You know, he's retired, but he still pretends like he wants to eat someone's soul for the music. And you know, dude plays like a metalhead, but that's why I said I'm like, what is this? You
mm-hmm.
know, it's not bad. It's just there's not a lot of obviously there's not a lot of music that I know that's like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just it takes some getting used to. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, you're right. He's definitely a league in his of his own
Right.
for sure because he combines two different, you know, music genres together basically. And I sometimes I like things just because they're solely because they're good. And that's one of the reasons why I like him is because he's got a lot of talent. So that's why I'm like I fucking love him because if you just listening to it with someone that doesn't like me like know like I don't know that much about music. I know a little bit about music, but like he's singing like classical opera style, right? And then he goes into a scream and he takes his screaming from like a high pitched pterodactyl scream down to a low scream and then goes back into singing opera all in one breath.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like that's what grabs me. It's like he's so fucking talented
Right.
that he's
And in the
able
video, it's so effortless.
uh
It's just
he's doing
like
all of
looking at
that
the
and like
video, he's like,
one breath.
ah,
Uh-huh.
like you're like, God damn, dude. Like, look what I can do.
Yeah, it's just like to me he's just like he's a master of his craft and I love it. Like
Right.
and if I were you, I would go back and listen to his strapping young lad stuff.
That's exactly what I want to do, actually. I was like, I want to listen to some of that. So that'll be
It's
what I
heavy as fuck. It's straight up metal. Like it's like brutal like metal.
no, that's cool.
and he and like I always thought he looks weird now, but he used to look even weirder like back in the day when he was in Strapping Young Lad. He was balding on the top, but he had long dreadlocks on the
Oh
sides
no.
and like a fucking goatee and wore like glasses and stuff. Looked like a fucking maniac, like a white trash demon. It
Oh
was
man.
fucking awesome. Yeah.
I saw
But
the yeah, go ahead.
if you listen to Strapping Young Lad, check out the album Alien. That's the one I would recommend.
Cool, man. I will. I really will. Like I said, um, it just caught me off guard. That's
Uh-huh.
all. Didn't know what to
I did that
expect.
on purpose. I
I
did
know
that on
you did.
purpose.
I
I wanted
know
to
you
throw
did.
it at you and just like be like, bam, and just see what happened. You know, I
Right.
was just like, and he has a bunch. Devin Townsend and the Devin Townsend Project and Devin Townsend Band. He's prolific. He has a bunch of music, so
Right.
you could check out more of his solo stuff and his band, and then you could check out Strapping Young Lad. Strapping Young Lad has 3 albums at least, maybe 4, and then Devin Townsend has like fucking probably got like 15 albums. Probably has like at least 15 or 20. So you know that was just the tip of the iceberg. Epicloud was just the tip of the iceberg. So he's got a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of he like sometimes releases an album that has like a record that has 2 albums, and sometimes it's like a metal album and then like a soft, like
Okay.
everything that's just like super mellow, like like atmospheric, like fucking trippy shit. So he's got a
Yeah,
lot of
that
shit,
too.
man. There's a lot for someone to dive into.
Nice, man. Well, like I said, I'm glad that you introduced me to it because I at least want to have heard of it. I feel like there's just this whole other, I don't know, this whole other thing I didn't know about. I'm like, okay, that's out there. Like I said, it's like it's gonna stick in my head for a lot of reasons. Most of the ones
Right.
I've already listed, but it sticks in my head. It's just when I first listened to it, I'm like, did he fucking get me into Christian rock? And I'm like, listen to it, and I'm like, this is really, this isn't, I don't know what. And then I watched the video and I was like, this isn't trippy. This is some confident dude up there destroying on the guitar and
Yeah.
singing like an opera singer. I'm like, fuck, man, that's, I don't know. I said, it's awesome. It's still mind boggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
I
a
appreciate it. It's definitely, like you said, it's off the cuff. It's not, I didn't expect you to, I don't have anything that good I could trick you with. Like, and here's the fucking thing. Here, I get a little Tony tangent in there. The older I get, and everyone in the world's like, don't say that about yourself. Listen, I'm the one saying it, okay? I realize how stupid I am. The older I get, I don't mean this to be like I'm a moron, but
right.
I'm a moron, and I don't understand like how people can listen to music, not read the fucking lyrics, just listen to a song like
Yeah.
he did, and then Alex say it's about this. Listen, he says Lord, but he mean get the fuck out of here. I hear that guy say Lord. It's Christian rock. I'm changing the channel. Alex is like, no, fucko. This is, and that happens to me all the time. And seriously, people tell me like, oh, this is about so and so's brother. He passed away, and then this happened, and he tripped on a Lincoln log, and Lego went up his ass, and that's why I wrote this song. And I'm like, all right, how the fuck do you know that? Like, oh, it's in the lyrics. Like, no, it's not. I've listened to this on 7 different narcotics and sober. It's not in there. How did you find out this shit? How do people translate music? How do you fucking do that? I don't understand it. How could you know what some guy fucked up in the 60s was talking about? He doesn't even know what he was talking about. It's just, it's a trait I don't have to understand, but I listen to a lot of music. I couldn't tell you 3 songs that I actually know what the fuck they're singing about unless I read a story telling me, or the artist said, yeah, it was about this. But to just listen to lyrics and be able to figure out a song, I remember listening to that Tool album and everyone's like, oh yeah, they're talking, that's the recipe to make hash brownies. I'm like, how do you know that? The whole song's in fucking German. How would you know that it's about hash brownies? Everybody knows that. I don't speak fucking German. I can't listen to that. Would you sit next to Adolf and listen to this fucking album? How'd you figure that out? I'm dumb. There's so much I don't know. I can't translate a song for you. Even if Celine Dion says "I love you," I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. They're like, oh yeah, she's actually singing to her dog Mitzi, who had 1 ear and 2 paws, and it was like, yeah. Tell me you read that story. No, it's in the lyrics. But get the fuck out of here. No, it's not. No, it's not. So
Well, see,
I'm glad you know what the fuck people are talking about because I don't. I just
lyrics are up to interpretation, right?
yes.
So it's like I'm guessing that it's
All right.
about that, but I'm confident that I'm right because he's an atheist, so it's not about Jesus, Lord Jesus, baby Jesus in the sky. It's not about that.
Right.
And he's saying baby. He's saying, oh, come on, baby. I messed up. I missed the point. So,
but you're listening enough to hear that shit. And I'm like,
yeah.
I hear the music, but then I'm like, oh, a Pop-Tart. I just can't fucking pay attention. And that's really what it is. I'm not paying enough attention.
Right.
I get it. I just marvel. I'm like, you're just like, yeah, this is what it's about. Or at least, even if you don't know what it's about, you have enough confidence to be like, this is what it's about. And if you talk to him, he's probably like, yeah, he's right. I mean, we're pretty fucking close. And I'm just like, Pop-Tart? Like, don't mind him. He likes Pop-Tarts.
I think you should listen to Strapping Young Lad, Alien, and I think you should listen to another Devin Townsend album. I forget what it's called, but it's he wrote it in 2016. The cover has like this goat person that's doing this thing, like has like a couple different arms, and I'm trying to get like this doing that kind of thing, you know?
Yes.
And it's like it kind of looks like it's floating into the heavens, and I forget what it's called, but it's 2016,
I
so
got
it's
no. It
his
was
album.
enough, dude. I got it. I'm a
Yeah.
picture guy. I'll find it.
So if I were you, just because you're still on the fence, I would listen to those two albums, and then you could be like, I either don't like them or I do.
Fair enough.
So
I
you listen to a
appreciate it
lot of music
anyway, dude.
anyway.
It was
You
it
might as
was a
well
good
try.
it was a good one. It made me think and it made me listen, and I appreciate that. That was fun.
At least you could see that he's fucking talented as shit. At least you could see that.
Yeah,
Because
he's got
the
it out there. I
motherfucker,
mean,
the motherfucker could sing. He
I
could sing.
know, and it makes me realize how many bands I listen to where they can't.
Yeah, he
Whoops.
could fucking sing. Like,
Like sing, not just like fuck. Like
yeah.
yeah.
And he's also got like he's got a crazy scream too, like a crazy.
Yeah, and it comes out so effortless. It's just piercings.
Yeah,
I liked it. Good shit,
yeah,
man.
and he's Canadian. I don't
I
know.
know that's the one thing I learned from Wikipedia was he's Canadian. That and
Yeah,
he's married. I was like, I don't need to know that. I kind of want to know it's like, yeah, but he's definitely a Canadian.
yeah. Well, we did our job. We did what we were supposed to.
Cool. I have an album for next week.
Yeah, man.
I got really excited when I found out this got re-released on vinyl a couple of weeks ago. It hasn't been on vinyl since 95, 96. The band is Primus. The album is Tales from the Punch Bowl.
Okay. Tales from the Punch Bowl, Primus.
Yep. My favorite Primus album, and they just put it on vinyl.
Cool.
So,
I'm just writing it down here. Tales. Okay, cool. Right on, man. We did it. Fucking high five.
shit. Hang on. I really fucking Cracker Barrel. Hey! All right.
Hey! Hey!
You fucking hey. Fucking touch me like that.
Well,
all right. Let's get out of here.
Thanks for listening and watching this bullshit. 4 of you fucking people watched this on YouTube last time, so let's shoot for 6, huh? How about that? Hopefully, there's 6 people that watch this. Those 4 of you, thank you for watching. Hopefully, there's more.
We could stop. We could just do this for us. We could put them all on YouTube, and then when we die, we'll release them.
Tony, we are. This is only for you and me, buddy.
Oh, fuck it anyway. What's the difference? Hey, if you seriously watch this, thanks. I mean, that's all.
That's all. So yeah. Instagram, Titfoo69. You can check out our page, and you can see when we're putting stuff out. We post at least once a week, maybe 2 or 3 times. But and then YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell, ding dong. You know what I mean? And that's it. Thanks for watching, babies.
All right. Bye.